With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, I bear witness that there is but one God, the only creator of the heavens and earth, the Lord of all systems of knowledge, whom we properly call Allah. I accept all of Allah's prophets and believe that Prophet Muhammad is a mercy to mankind and the seal of prophethood. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Welcome again, dear family, to Study Al-Islam. Our speaker today is Dr. Patrice. She is a primary care physician here to provide us with updated medical information about shingles. Her bio is in the newsletter for you to read. Before we get started, I do want to say that I am not advocating for or against vaccines. It is a personal decision between you and your doctor. I am providing you informed, trusted voices to help you make this decision. If you have any questions, place them in the chat box. And after Dr. Patrice speaks, Dr. Ramadan has agreed to stay on and speak with us briefly about the new vaccine. So for those who can stay on after Dr. Patrice's talk with us, you're welcome. So Dr. Patrice, before we get started, I have to say that before COVID, I rarely heard any information about shingles, although my doctor suggested it to me every time I visited her. After COVID, it seems every other ad on TV is a warning about shingles. I want to know, is there a relationship between the COVID vaccine and the increase in shingles? And as I said to you, this is not intended to put you on the spot, but you are a primary care physician. So anything that you can provide us in terms of information would be helpful, and then you can proceed with your PowerPoint.
Well, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so much for having me this morning, Sister Fitrah, and your esteemed guests and participants to your broadcast, to your program. Thank you so much for having me. I would first like to just correct and say that I am a physician associate in internal medicine and a PhD in integrative medicine. So that's where my doctorate comes from. I have been researching the COVID vaccine for quite some time, and just COVID generally, since 2020. And it appears by the research that myself and the Investigational Review Board that I am the project lead on, it appears, and it has been indicated in quite a few studies, I know more than maybe 50, that since the introduction of the COVID vaccine, there has been an uptick in conditions and some of the major medical conditions. In particular, it causes hypercoagulability, meaning clotting, increased clotting. And it has been documented that it also causes, as they say, turbocharged cancers. And I do have the research and documentation on that from Johns Hopkins, from MD Anderson Cancer Center. And so it appears that it is causing, for some reason, an uptick of conditions, and that may include shingles. I do not have a direct affiliation. I'm only stating what I have come to research over the last maybe 8-9 months that I've been looking at this carefully. And that is my assessment in particular for that is with its connection and affiliation with an uptick of medical conditions. So, but again, I do have the information. I can forward that to you, Sister Fitrah, for anyone who wants to see the research that I have from the IRB that I function and work with.
So Dr. Ramadan is on the line. We're not going to ask him to speak right now in reference to or make any comment about what you're saying, but he should be prepared. But I would, in all fairness, we do know that the COVID shot has decreased the levels of death, the numbers of deaths in the country. I mean, that's kind of that's what we believe anyway. So I'm not trying to scare people by asking that question. It's just that I've seen more promotional ads on TV since COVID about shingles, and I've heard more people having shingles, and nothing is a coincidence. But we do want to be fair and say that many people have predispositions, medical preconditions before COVID. And so this also may be a reason for seeing these increases. You see, I'm learning from you all because I am listening. And so this is why I want to stress that this is a personal choice that everyone needs to make with their physician. We're just you're giving what your research has shown you, Dr. and others, what they are learning. So I don't want to scare people to not take the vaccine. Again, I'm not advocating for or against the vaccine. I'm just trying to listen to the trusted voices in our community and some of the obvious information and following it to its logical conclusion. Okay, with that said, Dr. Patrice, why don't you go ahead? This topic this program today is about shingles.
Yes.
Because I'm still impacted.
Yes. I hope we can give you a little bit of resolution and help. I'm going to share my screen here to start the presentation. Okay. Okay, let me start.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Doctor.
Good, thank you. So the varicella-zoster virus is called shingles or herpes shingles. Is there a cure? So let me I want to adjust this grid so I can see my screen here. 1 second. Okay, all right. This is what the varicella-zoster virus looks like, okay? Just to give you a little education on that. Okay, there are 8, actually 9 herpes virus, humans herpes virus, and I'm just going to briefly go through those. You have herpes simplex 1 and 2, and those viruses are the cause of the cold sores that you get on your lip, and of course, genital herpes is herpes simplex virus 2. Varicella-zoster virus. This is the focus of today's topic, and the HH means human herpes virus, and that's the third one that causes chickenpox and shingles. Epstein-Barr virus, which causes, they believe is implicated in several diseases, of course, but including mononucleosis and some cancers. Human cytomegalovirus, which is human herpes virus 5, and it causes a widespread infection, especially in those that are immunocompromised. When I worked in infectious diseases, HIV is kind of like the bread and butter of infectious diseases, and human cytomegalovirus was the culprit in many infections of the eye, which is retinitis, in the colon, colitis, the esophagus, esophagitis, liver disease or hepatitis, and the infection of the brain, encephalitis. So when you had HIV patients who had gone into the AIDS range, their T cell count had gone below 200, and they had these infections, we would look for human cytomegalovirus. Okay, next. Human herpes virus 6 and 7, they're really known for infants or toddlers, and it's related to Roseola infantum and exanthema subtitum or 6 disease. And that's with children between 6 and 12 months of age. It's usually a mild self-limiting condition, and they have a fever and a rash. Okay. And then we have Kaposi sarcoma associated herpes virus, which is herpes virus 8. And that's commonly seen in HIV and AIDS patients. So those, again, that are immunocompromised. This is what I'm going to give you, just a couple of images, those little painful blisters there, red blisters, fluid filled, and sometimes they can be white with a little pus in them. That's usually it's spread on one area, dermatome, I should say, of the body on the right side or the left side. And then you have these, they look like just like chicken pox. But again, this is photos of shingles. So you rarely can tell the difference. The major difference is those lesions, they're occurring more in clusters in one area versus disseminated or spread throughout the body. Okay, so shingles, known as herpes zoster, causes a painful, itchy, and tingly rash made of fluid-filled blisters that can last for weeks, right, Sister Fitrah? It can, if you're 50 years or older or have chicken pox, have had chicken pox, this virus causes shingles, and it's already dormant. You already have it just sitting dormant, waiting for the opportunity to cause a problem. And as the immune system naturally weakens with age, the risk for shingles increases as you get older, even if you feel healthy. 1 in 3 people will get shingles in their lifetime. The infection with the varicella zoster virus occurs through the air when a person infected with the virus exhales or coughs, and thereby emits the droplets containing the virus into the air. In addition, the virus can also be transmitted via saliva and the blister fluid and tears. Herpes zoster manifests as a burning pain in the spinal and cranial nerve ganglia, and that just means the central nervous system, which is the brain and spinal cord, in which the varicella zoster viruses survive unnoticed for years after the initial chickenpox infection has healed. A weakened immune system, and this where the vaccines may be a factor, is when the immune system is weakened, then you can get that secondary infection, which is shingles. The viruses multiply and can again lead to blistering and possibly a slight fever, a little itching or tingling. A person with active shingles can spread the virus to someone who has never had chickenpox or who never received the chickenpox vaccine. A possible consequence of shingles is a chronic, often debilitating pain that can linger long after the rash clears up. Shingles pain commonly lasts 2 to 4 weeks but can last much longer in some individuals. Can shingles be cured? According to the Centers for Disease Control, there's no cure for herpes. However, daily use of antiviral medicines can prevent or shorten outbreaks. Antiviral medicines also can reduce the chance of spreading it to others. And you see, I have a little funny picture here of Kanye saying, if you say so. Well, you know, there is, I think that when you know what genetic material this virus is made of, there should be more that can be done to prevent this disease besides a vaccine. Okay, they have the shingles vaccine, yes, but you still can have an outbreak even with the shingles vaccine. And so I just said, you know, I think that there can be more that can be done to assist in that vein, but we'll move on. We'll see. Okay, so now let's go here. Shingles treatment, boosting the immunity. Once you boost your immunity, it increases the production of antibodies against the herpes virus is of primary importance. In order for white blood cells to recognize that this virus is an invader and should be destroyed, you need to produce more antibodies to attach to the virus. Finally, the body's immune system will gradually start destroying herpes virus until it is completely eliminated from the body. Well, how long will that take? It depends on many individual internal factors. So everybody is different. Everybody's healing capacity is different. So that is a key focus of preventing actually shingles in the first place. Now there are six natural treatments for shingles that you can find on Healthline, and I'll just summarize some of these. But what they mean by treatments, not necessarily to shorten the course of shingles, but to help with the discomfort and the pain that you experience. So daily cleansing of the blisters, it reduces the risk of spreading the infection, and take a cool bath or shower to soothe your skin. I know these are some of the basics, but it helps to reiterate some of the basics, some of the obvious, I should say. And the coolness of the water can ease pain from shingles blisters and can calm itchiness. You can also take a healing bath to reduce symptoms. You pour 1 to 2 cups of colloidal oatmeal or cornstarch into lukewarm bath water and soak for 15 to 20 minutes. Do not use hot water, of course. You should know that because it'll cause a little bit more pain, but also it increases blood flow to that area. And so that can, worsen the pain that's can already be pretty debilitating. Dry your body completely and then wash your towel to avoid spreading the virus to others. In addition to taking a bath to relieve pain and itchiness associated with a shingles rash, apply a cool, moist compress. You can do this several times throughout the day. You can soak in cool water, wring out the water, and apply the cloth to the rash and blisters. The coolness of the compress can reduce pain. Repeat the process as often as you need. Do not apply an ice pack to the rash. The coldness may increase skin sensitivity and worsen pain. You can create a paste using cornstarch. I know some of these remedies are the same remedies that people use for chicken pox. So pretty much the same thing. You can create a paste with cornstarch and baking soda and water to naturally relieve itching caused by a shingles rash. So there's the instructions. You just pour 2 parts of the cornstarch or baking soda into a cup. You add 1 part water, get the desired consistency, apply the mixture to your rash, rinse off in 10 to 15 minutes. And you can repeat that as often as you like. Scratching a shingles rash can cause scarring and prolonged blisters. I know that's the same instructions for, the same, um, um, like if you have chicken pox, that's the same idea here. Do not scratch, because you can have a scar, a lifelong scar pretty much, and it can prolong the blisters. And I know some of you may have seen people who've had chicken pox, they call them the pox scars. They can be pretty long lasting if the dermis of the skin is damaged from scratching. If itching doesn't improve after a healing bath, a cool compress or baking soda or cornstarch mixture, with baking soda or cornstarch mixture, using some soothing lotions and creams will help. But don't use the perfume lotions and creams, and use them sparingly, because if you use too much, it'll keep the sores it'll keep them from drying. They'll stay kind of too moist, and that'll lengthen the healing process. Okay. And that goes for antibiotic creams. Someone may want to put an antibiotic cream because there may be a little bit of an infection there, but you don't want to put too much of that either, because that can also cause a problem. If you decide to use creams or lotions, it will be more effective if you apply one containing the natural ingredient capsaicin. So I know some of you all know that's in chili powder. But it's an anti-inflammatory, and it can help ease pain. Initially, you may have a little stinging on the skin, but it will slowly go away. And this cream will help to reduce the pain signals that are being sent to your brain. Additionally, you can apply calamine lotion. That never worked for me. I had chicken pox. Calamine lotion never really worked. But for some people, it may work, but that's one of the natural treatments that you can use. A weakened immune system worsens shingles, so some dietary changes can strengthen the immune system and prevent shingles from spreading to other parts of your body. So you can take some steps to boost the immune system with some of these foods. You can eat a diet consisting of foods with vitamins A, B12, C, E, and the amino acid lysine. So foods that promote healing are your citrus fruits, your orange and yellow fruits. And the ones that have the asterisk, those are the ones high in lysine. So you have green leafy vegetables, wild caught fish like salmon, eggs, chicken, lentils, beans, seeds, and tomatoes. As you heal and cope with the effects of shingles, you might crave comfort foods. However, you should avoid foods that are sugary, high in sugar, high amounts of sugar. The arginine-rich foods, because sugar feeds that viral spread, okay? And arginine foods, which is an amino acid that contains chocolate. Arginine-rich foods are chocolate, gelatin, and nuts. No refined carbohydrates, that increases the sugar load, and foods high in saturated fats. Some supplements and herbal medicines may also help you fight the virus and treat insomnia and anxiety due to shingles. So melatonin, St. John's wort, oregano oil, echinacea, lemon balm, green tea, essential fatty acids from your wild-caught oily fish, sunflower seeds, cod liver oil, flaxseed oil, eggs, and avocado, and milk, etc. High-quality vitamin. A high-quality vitamin is necessary for any natural treatment to work better. You need to make sure that you don't have those nutritional gaps, because there would be a decreased functioning, cellular functioning when you have nutritional gaps. So you want to plug in those gaps with a high quality multivitamin. Curcumin blocks the expression of the herpes simplex virus. So, turmeric is very good. And that also is good for any inflammatory or itching on the skin also. Echinacea extract that has immune modulating properties, meaning it kind of boosts the immune system. It gives it a little nudge, and it's a natural antiviral. Zinc. Zinc deficiency will possibly cause more frequent outbreaks, and it actually is a general immunity booster. And zinc actually helps to block the attachment on the receptors, on the cell's surface through the receptors. So zinc is also good when you're experiencing any cold. A lot of times, of course, you hear, take your zinc, your vitamin C and zinc. So zinc is in particular very helpful for viral outbreaks, including shingles. Ashwagandha, very important. It's an adaptogenic herb that supports the body's natural immunity, and it's good for general well-being after a stress challenge. So, of course, having shingles is definitely a stress challenge. I've never had shingles, but I hear it's really a stress challenge. You're stressed, you get chronically stressed from shingles. It works as a nervous system relaxant, and it calms the mind and soothes the nerves. So ashwagandha is a very good adaptogenic herb. Inositol is a type of sugar that helps provide structure to your cells. It also affects the hormone insulin and the function of chemical messengers in your brain. So it supports healthy cell membrane integrity, and it helps support healthy cell membrane signaling. And there is an inositol powder that I think I sent to you, Sister Fitrah, that you can put a teaspoon and 8 ounces of water and sip over like 15 minutes, and you can repeat it every hour, 8 hours. You can probably do more, but I just stay more on the conservative side. And it depends on the severity of the itching. Pre and probiotics, they support healthy gut microbial environment. Of course, again, we're trying to get the immune system back geared up, and we have a large immunity element in the intestinal system. So you have to have healthy gut microbial environment so that you can absorb nutrients, you can absorb all the natural treatments that you're taking. If you're not absorbing them, then they're not being utilized by the body to help you with the health challenge that you're having with shingles. It supports normal bowel regularity, and it supports the body's natural immune system response functioning. And I think so lastly is an immunotherapy that made its first appearance during the historic Million Man March. It's called IB 100 for Immune Boost 100. And it's a dietary or nutritional supplement with over 29 years of history. This immune modulator is notably known for its work in the fight against HIV and AIDS. And this supplement has also been successful in helping with a host of other conditions. And here you have on the right side the clinical uses that I personally have used. This is just some of those that I've personally used with IB 100. And of course, herpes simplex 1 and 2 is on that list. It's been used for autoimmune diseases, understandably, of lupus, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic headaches. There's an inflammatory component most times to headache pain, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, leukemia, prostate cancer, breast cancer, multiple myeloma. My own mom has been on this since she was diagnosed with multiple myeloma in 2017 after she had her initial treatment. I told them she won't be getting any more of that treatment. It threw her into atrial fibrillation. And we have been using this actually another formulation that includes this. It's another immunotherapy that is for cancer in particular, but it includes IB100, atrial fibrillation, COVID-19. This was a major recommendation of mine for those who had COVID-19 and that had comorbid conditions. If they had, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, obstructive sleep apnea, any of those major conditions that increase a patient's chance of debilitation or death, I made sure that I recommended this. And if you have renal failure, I have patients that have renal failure that are taking this. Okay, and this is my presentation. This is my contact information. I am the CEO of Health at its Best, and it's a telehealth consultation service. There's my email. There's my email and my website, telephone number, and my contact at Salam Community Wellness Center here in Chicago. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patrice. So before, I want to get people's questions in first, and I think most of these you've answered, but I want to just, so Dr. Patrice, how can someone boost their immune system? You did answer that. Is there anything else you would like to say? I mean, it seems that the boosting of the immune system is standard in terms of fighting anything. So what would you say are the main, just to answer the question, are the main vitamins that we should be taking to boost our immune system? Zinc is so nasty. Oh my God. But
yes, it comes in different forms. And pardon me for my omission. I was going from an article and what I know specifically for shingles. Now, when you get into boosting the immune system, I gave a few things, but of course we know vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. Okay. So vitamin C is also good, just generally overall. Okay, and it's not specific for shingles, but generally overall, vitamin C, vitamin E, that combination of two. Vitamin E helps to increase the absorption and the utilization of vitamin C. I want to just say really quickly, stress. Controlling chronic stress will help the immune system. That is the major, it is, if I have to state, based upon the patients that I've had, I have to put stress number one. That actually causes the immune system to dysregulate. There's a dysregulation of the immune system when you have stress, because when you have too much stress, it increases the cortisol, it causes problems with the adrenal glands, it's just a never-ending cycle of things that occur when the stress is chronic and you don't turn it off. So we're looking at some things to calm stress. Of course, yoga, deep breathing, meditation. I did and I can share this also with you later, Sister Fitrah. You can have somewhere, I have two programs, a broadcast that I did on managing stress. And I think that they will be really helpful because that is so important and key. It's not always about taking something, as you need to start somewhere, and starting somewhere just to be very mindful to help control chronic stress. Because you can take all the best supplements in the world, but if you're still in a stressful environment or you're not controlling that stress, it's gonna be a never-ending cycle.
The next question also, how does someone, does the study show if you take the vaccine, does it induce shingles? Before you answer that question, I think you've answered, but I want you to address it anyway because someone has asked. I do want to stress, we are not trying to scare people away from taking any vaccine. That is a personal choice that they should discuss with their doctor, because everyone has different health conditions, and that determines who should take the vaccine and who shouldn't. But again, the person, my dear friend Zarina asked, does the study show if you take the vaccine, does it induce shingles?
A COVID-19 vaccine?
I'm assuming
Or
she's saying that. Mhm.
because I don't have the answer to that.
Okay, then.
I don't have the answer that it will actually induce shingles. What I mentioned earlier is, I think she's referring to, it may cause that stress component to turn on with the vaccine. And so it may be causing something internally that may lower your immunity. And
Right.
anytime the immunity is lowered, then you're at risk for shingles, especially if you're over age 50.
Someone said natural plus injection was recommended in 2019 to me. I have no reoccurrence, dandelion milk, thistle, paraphyte, grapeseed extract, of course, my black seed oil. What's your take on black seed oil?
Black seed oil has been getting a lot of press regarding its usefulness. I personally have not used it. I do have colleagues and patients and friends who said they use it and they kind of swear by it. But if you're asking me personally, have I recommended it? Have I used it? I have not.
I'm asking you as professionally.
Yes. Well, I can't give a professional opinion if I have no utility of it. So
Okay,
I
then.
haven't used it. I haven't
Okay,
recommended it to anybody for anything. And so I can make that deduction once I recommend it and I see if
right.
there's been a response, then I can make a professional judgment on that.
But you have patients that have used it
Mhm.
and highly recommend it for
Yes.
whatever use, because it's supposed to be like a general use for everything.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah. Let me ask you this. Uh, so we want to stress that anyone who's had the chicken pox has the virus.
Mhm. Yes.
And you said that, and I know it was contagious because I know it's contagious. So when you're in the contagious state is when the lesions have pus or liquid in them. Is that correct?
Yes, but actually, there is a pre-drome that happens. See,
Mm.
you're exposed to it, and then there's like 5 to 7 days that you may not see a lesion. So
Mm.
before you see the lesion, to know you have something, so you're actually shedding viral particles at that time.
And
So
so
it's even before you actually see a rash.
mm.
But
So
yes, once they start to pop and burst, then that material gets released out into the air. And then, of course, the skin contact with someone else. So, yes, at
I
that point.
I have talked to quite a few people over the age of 50. I recently spoke with someone who had shingles 10 years ago and is still impacted by it. I had shingles
Wow.
in my head and above my eye.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
of course, the ophthalmologists were very concerned about it leaking into my eye. I did speak with
Mm.
someone who had shingles above their eye, and it did leak into their eye, and it has caused vision impairment.
Oh,
So it can come anywhere. I've heard about it coming in areas that are unspeakable. Um, people need to take this very serious. Isn't that correct?
yes, absolutely. The virus can wreak havoc on some of the areas of the body. And some of this is irreversible if it isn't caught in enough time. Because you can see what it can do to skin. It can cause permanent
Yeah.
scarring of the skin. And I'm not saying that yours will be permanent because you're still you're still under a year, you're still under 6 months of time. But it's still an important element for you to be very vigilant on those lesions
Um,
and where they're occurring.
yes,
You're freezing. Oh,
mine has
oh,
been 6 months now,
oh, okay.
and which I'm not concerned about. I have, that exists right here in this area. It is, I can take the scars, but I need that numbness to go away. And right now, I'm not getting, and my immune system, I mean, I take, someone is asking about vitamins. I have very good liquid vitamins, vitamins with no sugar or or preservatives in them as such. Um, uh, and I am boosting my immune system, and I eat well. But I caught shingles after I took the COVID vaccine. And, again, I'm not saying that it was the COVID vaccine that did it, but I do understand that the immune system can be compromised after any vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm just trying to help people to understand that this is a serious condition.
One thing I want to offer too is I mentioned very quickly that inositol powder in that water. Now that I have recommended for nerve pain and for severe nerve pain, patients who have had herniated discs and who have radiculopathy, a nerve that's caught that causes pain that radiates, and have taken the inositol powder and have been relieved of that pain. So I also recommended that, Sister Fitrah, because to you, believe I sent that email to you. That's important, that maybe you or those who get shingles, they may want to try that, because I do have some information on that and some clinical experience with that it has relieved pretty severe neuropathic pain that's coming from the nerves. I have had some experience and some relief with that inositol powder.
Okay, so I know two people that are on this line right now, and I'm looking at them, that I know have some serious, are suffering with serious pain. So can you share that information once again?
I will. It's called inositol powder, INOSITOL, inositol powder, and it's from a company called Standard Process. And I can share a code that they can, because they only give the supplements to doctors or providers. So I can share a code and they can go right on and order it. Now, if the pain is that serious, they may want to consider taking like some narcotic pain reliever if it's that serious. I mean, you don't want, because that again, that's working on the immune system. Because when you're in pain, there is an unrest. And so there's an anxiety, and you can't heal when you're in pain like that. There's no way. You're not going to be able to heal properly when you're in pain. So if you need to take a narcotic pain medication to take the edge off, please ask your primary care provider to prescribe a temporary dosage for, just enough for maybe a week's time or so to take the edge off while you're taking something else. Okay, so that's very key. And I'm going to give. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to know if you could put that information in the chat.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
I'll do it right now.
That's real important. And if you have any information also where you're talking about this, that we can put it in the newsletter, I can put it in the newsletter for others to see it again. And of course, your talk will be in the newsletter next Saturday for 1 week, so people can review it again. But that pain concoction that you have suggested, I would like for you to put that in, because as I said, I know that many of us who are over 50 are suffering with pain.
Yes.
And that is a major cause of stress.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And so it's counterproductive that you're taking all of this, these vitamins, and then you're stressed with pain. Pain is, nobody wants to be in pain.
Right. No, absolutely not.
And I know people who are in daily pain.
Yes.
So let's
Yes.
get that in the chat. Marsha, if you could help with that so people can.
And I put that in. I put the website, I put the name of the powder
Okay.
and the patient direct code. They'll just need to put that in so they can place the order themselves. And the someone also stated, can you please put the Immune 100 information again? So they wanted me to just show that. I can show that very quickly. I can share my screen and just show that very quickly.
Okay, so while you're putting that in,
Sure, sure.
oh, please go ahead. I want to ask this question. I heard that COVID-19 vaccine contains at least 6 autoimmune components. Does that ring true to you, doctor? Okay, let's go here. So this is for pain?
Yes, this can help with pain too. Now, will not give you immediate pain relief from severe pain of shingles, but it does address moderate pain. So pain that comes from arthritis and, even when you initially injure your back and things. Now, it wasn't initially developed for that, but it seems to work wonders with pain when it's associated with arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis or lupus and, cancer pain. It seems to help with. Okay.
Okay, but is inositol powder different from this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to. And so go ahead, doctor.
The immune boost is immunotherapy. It's a therapy for the
Okay.
immune system directly. The inositol powder is going to help with nerve pain.
And you can order that where?
Now, the inositol powder is standard process. The immune boost you have to order through Health at Its Best, which is my company.
Okay, so wait a minute. I'm not understanding the inositol powder. What did you say about that?
That's at standard process. Is www.standardprocess.com. It's in the chat. That's the supplement company that's been in business like 90 years, and I've been using them for almost 20 years.
Okay.
Now the 6 components from the COVID vaccine, I'm not aware of the 6. She said autoimmune. Okay. Yes. Now I do know that it has exacerbated autoimmune conditions. Now that I do know that those who have had autoimmune conditions, there have been some complaints that it had exacerbated the autoimmune conditions, made them worse, or caused them to go into like a flare of their autoimmune condition.
And I'm sure Dr. Ramadan will speak to that more. Yes. But I do want to emphasize, you can't wait till you get sick and then think that you're going to start taking all this stuff and by some miraculous miracle it's going to go away. I mean, it's just not going. I don't think it's just going to happen like that. Otherwise, you have to take care of yourself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may he be in the highest place in paradise, wrote How to Eat to Live. And he told us all of these things before they became popular about, that how we should eat. So this is not new. And, we got to take care of ourselves. We've got to exercise. We've got to eat right. We've got to sleep. Everybody that comes on here talks about how important it is to breathe, to walk, all of you are saying the same thing with a different voice.
Yes.
But delivering the same message. And it's up to us individually to really take this serious,
Yes.
I've heard so many times people say, well, I'm going to die from something, so I'm going to eat what I want to eat. But guess what?
Right.
I've seen them suffer towards death. Who wants to suffer? Yes. We all got to transition, but let's try to avoid suffering. What is the code for inositol powder needed to get the product?
Okay. So Sister Fitrah, we don't see what Dr. Patricia put in the chat.
You to Dr. Direct Message. Oh, wait a minute. to the, okay, because it says to Dr. Juma. Okay, so let me put it to everyone. I'm sorry.
Thank
Here
you.
we are. I see it. I'll do it right now. I have it. I'm sorry.
And does the information have the code?
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
perfect.
I did it right now. Okay.
And what is the purpose of this code, Sister Patrice?
Because they won't allow just people to just order their products. They're a pretty, they don't want people just, getting products and then say, oh, it didn't work, because they have such a reputation, high reputation over the years. And they don't want to get a bad rap for the quality of their products if people aren't using them properly.
And so you have to be referred by a physician or a physician.
Right, exactly. Okay. And that's why I just gave them access to that code so they can freely go on. I'll get a quick notification somebody's trying to order. I'll just approve it, and they can just go right on and get the inositol powder.
And this is for anybody who is specifically though, anyone who's experiencing pain, chronic pain from nerves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so those on here who I know are experiencing chronic pain from nerves, let's try it. Mm-hmm. And is this a natural ingredient?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that inositol powder. It is. It's a form of let me see. I have that here. You want me to share that again? Hold on. Yeah, I mentioned the inositol powder there. It's a type of sugar that helps provide structure to your cells, and it also affects the hormone insulin and the function of chemical messengers in the brain. It supports healthy membrane integrity and signaling. So that's how it's assisting to minimize pain, is it's helping to signal that the healthy cell membrane with pain, with the nervous system. It's that bridge between the cell and the interface with your nerves. In particular, the dorsal root ganglion nerves. These are nerves with the brain and the spinal cord.
So I'm a candidate for that.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Because my nervous system is telling my brain. I mean, every day I itch. I've been using vitamin E and aloe vera, black seed. None of
that's not going to get.
That's all. Yeah, that's all external, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So please refer back to I sent you an email with quite some detail. I have that in there specifically for you. If you have any questions, please give me a call.
I appreciate it.
Or email.
I really appreciate you taking time to be with us. I know everyone else does. If there are no further questions for you, I know you need to get going. We want to bring Dr. Ramadan on to talk about this new COVID. He's going to briefly speak with us about the new COVID vaccine. But Dr. Patrice, before you leave, are there any last minute? Everyone has your contact information. I don't see your contact.
I'll put it back up really quickly for you.
Please.
So we can have it. Okay.
Please.
There it is.
I want everybody to have access to you. You want for your brother and sister that what you want for yourself, and I have access, and I write you and call you. So
yes.
Please.
There it is. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Patrice. Again, thank you for being here with us. And may you have a wonderful week and life. And we hope Muhammad has his hands up. But Muhammad, I think I asked your question. Is there a quick question for Dr. I don't want to, for Dr. Patrice? Muhammad?
He lowered his hand.
Okay, then. So thank you again, Dr. Patrice.
Thank you.
Is there any last minute words that you'd like to share with us before you leave?
I'd just like to say, please work with the stress level, because I am finding that is super key to health and healing and overall well-being. And I will send you the link to the 2 videos for managing chronic stress. And thank you so much. May Allah bless you all with a wonderful rest of your day. And I am so honored to be a part of Study Al-Islam.
You're going to send us the video? You're going to send me the YouTube and I can put it in the newsletter?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
everyone can look forward to that the next Saturday. It will be in the newsletter for you
Yes.
to hear and get your stress level under control. Thank you, Dr. Patrice.
Thank you.
Allah
Thank
protect
you.
you. Send
You
the
also,
angels to
ma'am.
be with you.
Thank everyone on the panel. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Dr. Ramadan, thank you for take yourself off of mute. And thank you for agreeing to spend these last few minutes with us. I invited Dr. Ramadan on because I received from AARP that there are 8 vaccines that I should be taking. Now, I'm not taking all those vaccines. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's just not, I'm not happening. That's not happening. But Dr. Ramadan, it's the new COVID vaccine has been approved. I've already taken 3. I don't want to take another vaccine. And I'm sure, I know that there are many on here that feel the same way I do. I know that the immune system, improving our immune system, everyone has said would help us to fight these invaders. I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made our body able to fight these invaders. Okay, so Dr. Ramadan, the floor is yours. Tell us, give us your thoughts.
Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First, I do want to thank you for inviting me on and to with this opportunity to address this important topic. And I would like to say that I very much enjoyed the doctor that was on that preceded me. And for everyone out there to let you know that she and I are on the same team. We have different things to offer. She offers that, and we offer from this perspective that we have. And it's for each of us to decide which one we should choose, or there's no, actually it's no either or. You can choose both, or you can select from one form of medicine or the other. It's for you to decide along with your doctor. For us, I want to say that the way that we look at health, and all the doctors will tell you, is diet, exercise, reduce your stress. That's for us, increase your faith, get good sleep, and screening tests. They are very important. Do not overlook those. So let me address the subject at hand. COVID, the COVID booster. Should I take the new COVID booster? I'd like to present the situation that we're addressing now and why that's even a concern. We're now coming out of the pandemic, going into the COVID becoming endemic. Right now, the seasonal rise in cases is occurring. The good news is that there's a great deal of current immunity levels that are present in the population. We are concerned because we see the rise in COVID cases occurring now. There's a rise in viral wastewater levels. We sample the wastewater in the big cities, and we can see when that rises, we know that the number of COVID cases is rising. And we see that the wastewater level have really exceeded the pandemic's 2020 peaks, all except one, the initial peak in March. So COVID cases have nearly doubled in the past month. And over the next month and a half, about 7 to 10% of the US population will be infected. And that's estimated to be about 650,000 cases per day of Americans being infected with COVID. Hospitalizations have risen They're up by 9% from August 27th of last month to the 2nd of September this month. And the deaths have risen 5% over that same period. The good thing, the blessing, is that the deaths have not gone up significantly. At this time in the past years, when we talked about having COVID, we were talking about very high death rates. We don't see that, and we are grateful for that. The current recommendation from the CDC, is that all Americans ages 6 months and older are eligible to receive an updated COVID booster. And those boosters that we have out now are tailored to the XBB Omicron strain. And the same companies, the Moderna, Pfizer, and Novavax, which has an updated formula, are out there. Novavax is just coming out. The AMA, American Medical Association, has projected that it would prevent about 400,000 hospitalizations if everyone took their vaccine. And over the next couple of years, that will be about 40,000 deaths, the models have shown. And it's a situation, the environment, the COVID environment out there, the virus environment. It's like hitting a moving target in a continually changing environment. That's what the scientists and doctors face. Last year, many of us took the bivalent booster, and that was a booster that was aimed at Omicron and the initial strain of COVID. It was like a double-barrel shotgun. It fired at those targets. This current booster is monovalent. It's like a rifle shot, and it's aimed at, for the most part, XBB.1.5 subvariant. And this has been the main variant for last year when the booster was developed, and a little bit this year, but it's on its way out. Right now, it's only about 10% of the cases in the country now. What we do have, okay, the situation is that these viruses are always in competition, just like in business. Who's going to be the king of the hill? And whichever one gets an advantage from its mutations, it takes off and goes ahead of the rest. And the current ones are EG.5, which accounts for about 22% of all the new cases in the US per the CDC, and FL.1.5.1 makes up the 15% of the new cases. Now, the variant of concern, which is really concerned because there's been mutations that occurred in the spike proteins. And you know those spikes on the virus, those are the ones that attach the virus. And when they get better attachers, they can go around some of the previous preventions or immunity that was established. And this new one, the BA.2.86, has one of those for it beneficial mutations. So we are keeping an eye on those. The good news, we're watching our time, is the recent studies from Moderna and Pfizer show that this booster that's out generates a strong immune response against the BA.2.86. Now, remember, it wasn't designed to do that. It's almost like collateral benefit. you fire at that target, and even if you miss it, some benefit has occurred surrounding, and that's sort of the way that this is that we're getting the benefit of this vaccine now. As time goes on, the vaccines will be more targeted, just as we have to do regularly with the flu vaccine. We have to see what's winning in the competition, project what's going to be coming forward, and aim the vaccines at the most likely targets. That's how it works. And this is good. This is the best we can do. This is how science can approach it. Now, what does all of this mean? Just to kind of bring this mini talk to a conclusion, what does all of this mean for us in our decision making? Well, what we know, excuse me, what we know is that the ones that are at most risk are the elderly and the immune compromised and those with comorbidities. Those, as the previous doctor mentioned, those with the diabetes, with the chronic lung disease, those with obesity, those with immune compromised condition, those with lupus, those who are under stress, don't get sleep, poor nutrition, vitamin deficiencies. All of those things make one at risk. So at one point, the talk was going around that maybe if I could avoid the vaccine now and hold off until they're better targeted. That's not been recommended. The best thing for you to do is to take the vaccine that's nearest to you when you can take it, because there is a risk in the delay. And, I like to just, we've used this example before. It's almost like wearing a seatbelt. Somebody could tell you, well, I've been driving for many years and I haven't been in any accident, and I'm a pretty good driver. And I don't know if I need that seatbelt. It's just been in my way and I've been clicking it all the time. And to me, I just don't need it, And to that person, you'd have to say, well, even if you've been driving the same road all the time, you don't know all the drivers on the road. You don't know the weather conditions. You don't know, is the road icy? You might be driving day or night, or your own personal condition may have changed. You may have had a period of stress. You may not have been eating well. You may be dealing with other condition, and you may be sleepy. So whatever your situation is, personally, a fastened seatbelt will help you be safe should an accident occur. This is how we look at the vaccine. The stronger you make your immune system, alhamdulillah, keep it strong, keep it safe, eat well, do all of those things, exercise, sleep, reduce your stress. And the vaccine is on your side as well. It can help you should you need it. You don't know all of the people that you will come in contact with. If you have grandchildren and all, you'll be in touch with them. They can give it to you or you can give it to them, or vice versa. And you will also contribute to the general, and you haven't heard this in a while, the general herd immunity. That's still a situation that's from the previous vaccine given, those who have had COVID once or more than once, and those who are just have not taken it, they still benefit from everyone else having done it. So we want you to, after saying that, we do recommend taking the vaccine. No vaccine is perfect, okay? No vaccine is perfect, and we're not perfect, and we don't eat perfect. So this will help and assist. COVID itself causes many side effects, many conditions of which we are still discovering, and many that we know about. COVID does cause, and if the vaccine causes some, we are aware of that too, but they're minuscule in comparison to what, including long COVID, that can come from the COVID virus. So also be aware of flu season. You can take the COVID and the flu shot at the same time, and RSV is out there too. We don't want to run into the triple demic that we had a year or so ago with COVID, RSV, and the flu. Inshallah, that won't be a problem for us. So with that, I'm going to conclude and give thought to taking the vaccine. It's for our benefit. It's another tool in our toolbox, along with all of the other. As I said, it's not either or, you can do it all, inshallah. Thank you, Sister Kova.
Thank you, Dr. Ramadan. Please don't go anywhere because we'd like you to close us in prayer. But I just want to say, this is like I said, I just received an email from with 8 vaccines that, if you're over the age of 50, you should take it. I know I'm not going to take them. But I can tell you that when I got shingles, I regretted not taking the vaccine. So we're in a catch-22. And this program is only to try to provide some information from those trusted voices in our community who are informed. It is really this causes me more stress than anything in my life is these vaccines. I'm going to tell you that right now. But Allah knows best. We make dua, try to do all of the good things that we know are good: eating, sleeping, breathing, good vitamins, and keeping good company, which is important. So I'm going to close with just a couple of announcements. I have purchased my mace. I hope all you sisters out there have purchased yours. I want you to know I had an incident the other day. The crime in Washington, D.C. is high. I was at a light. A young sister right now, there are young people who are pulling people out of their car, attacking people. She walked on the right side of my car. My door was locked, and she tried to open my door. Now, I came face to face with what would I do? And I want to tell you, I went through the red light because I could not mace her. So I'm in a terrible situation because I just don't have that spirit to hurt anybody right now. But we're being faced with a lot today, and I don't know what to say, but I have purchased my mace. It's in my car. I guess if she had opened my door, I would have sprayed her, but my door was locked by Allah's mercy. Sisters, please get something in your hand to protect yourself. Are you moving? Are you going to exercise class? So increase your exercise, walk, and do all of those good things for your body, because that helps to regenerate the good cells in your body in order to help boost your immune system. And breathe correctly. I had a meditation teacher that taught me how to breathe correctly. I'm going to show you quickly. She told me to hold my right side of my nose. She said, breathe in the left side, breathe out the left side, and then change fingers. Breathe in the right side, breathe out the left side, change fingers, breathe in, breathe out, change fingers, breathe in, breathe out, change fingers. That's the easiest method I've found to breathing. And so try doing that. Breathe in, breathe out the same nostril, then change your fingers, breathe in, breathe out. Try to go outside where there's some greenery and nature, and do that breathing. And last but not least, please listen to Imam Muhammad's talk in the Study al-Islam newsletter. It's an excellent, all of his talks are excellent. We already know that. But thank you again for being with us. It's late. I don't want to hold you any further until next week. Your sister and friend, Fitrah Muhammad. Dr. Ramadan, if you could kindly close us in prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah, sir. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amanu solihat. Wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bil sabr. Ameen.
Ameen. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.